Okay, so very quickly, I'll be telling you about who we are at SWI. And I mean, for those who are new, if you're joining us for the first time, you get to know more about who we are at SWI, what we do, what we stand for, why we do what we do, and then we would get into this session. So just give me a second to share my screen. Okay. So, who are we at SWI? We're a faith based organization with the principal aim of igniting the success power within people with emphasis on the youth. So, like we started today's session with prayers, we're faith based. Everything we do is on the basis of God's word. And we have the principal aim of igniting the success power within people, largely focused on the youth, which, I mean, if you look around the room, it's mostly the youth that we have. Now, what's our vision? Our vision is to raise people of outstanding success for global relevance. We have branches in Canada, in UK, in Dubai, and I mean, we've had loads of people who have gone from Nigeria to, I mean, we have footprints all over the world, right? So we're raising people who would be relevant, not just in their primary location, but also outside of their primary location. Our core values, we have the acronym SPEED, which is spirituality, which I've explained earlier as, I mean, we're Christians, we're faith-based organization, and everything we do on the basis of God's word. There's so much synergy with us. The team is synergized. We love what we do. We're very passionate. We also like to walk the talk. We don't just give out words. We don't just, give motivation in quotes, but we ensure that we live the life that we preach. We're excellent in what we do. We're very disciplined and we're diligent. So, moving to our mission is to help nurture youth for creativity and excellence, to teach youth God's way of success, to help youth discover talent and purpose, to raise an army of people who will take over the economy positively, and to help people ignite their potentials. So, in a nutshell, that is who we are at SWI. Some of the key things that we do. We have lots of different events. We have our monthly breakfast meeting, which is something that you're in right now. We have different activities that we run through the year. We have the I lead conference coming up this September, where we bring together leaders in secondary school and we just prepare them for the future. So, to our theme for today, our theme is on building relationships, right? Building relationships, becoming a person people like and trust. And why did we pick this theme, right? So, we talk a lot about skills, certification, strategy, hustle, working hard, being present, communicating effectively, so many things, finances, right? But the truth is, lots of opportunities that change people's lives are not just from the CV, right? Sometimes it's a conversation, it's a connection, it's someone who has thought of you when the door opened. I mean, there's sometimes that we hear of opportunities and people just click in, right? So some people, my names just come to mind. And, this just goes to show that relationships are infrastructures, right? And like every infrastructure, like every house you build, you have to be deliberate. It's not an accident. You have to be deliberate about your relationships. How do you manage them? How do you keep them? And we have the very best speaker here to take us on that topic. I saw her face this morning. I'm like, okay, I'm sure you're perfect for this. I've listened to some of the things that she's talked about. I've gone through her social media pages, and she's going to give us exactly what we need to hear. She's a product leader, entrepreneur, and mentor. And really, what are we looking to talk about? How do you become the kind of person people genuinely like? There are people who you wonder, oh, why? I mean, everybody just likes this person. Why? Or people just always look out for this person's good. Opportunities are always coming these people's way. How? Like, what exactly is it about them? So, how do you build that trust? Or you see someone walks into a room and maybe few conversations in, they already have that, people already trust them 3 years. Nobody trusts with this kind of thing. So, how do you actually build the trust that lasts? How do you show up in rooms, both physical and virtual, in a way that makes people want to open doors for you? And you can tell that I'm super excited about this topic, and I would really, 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 I'm really looking forward to what Seyi has to offer us this morning. So, Seyi, over to you. Thank you for joining us this morning. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Olamide. Can you hear me okay? Is my
Yes,
audio good?
perfect. You're
Perfect.
perfect.
Okay. Amazing. Let's do all the usual checks. So I'm going to try and share my screen as well to make sure that that works, and then we'll jump into it. So let's try that and see. Just give me 1 second. Um, Zoom always confuses me. I'm like, where are the options? Okay, share, and we want this one. Okay, I'm going to need your help in a minute. So I love the interaction already, please. I'm going to talk about it, but I do not do silence sessions. We'll have to talk because there's nothing worse than just feeling like you're talking to yourself. Can somebody let me know what you can see? Can you see full screen, the entire thing?
No, I can see. Yes, now it's on full screen presentation mode.
Perfect. Okay. And then I should have notes somewhere. Let me just figure out how to bring that up. Um, not that one. Okay. Okay. Is it still full screen? Can you still see?
Yes, I
You can
think
still
this
see.
works. I can see the browser bar, but I think it works. Yeah, it's still fine. It's still
Okay.
full.
All right, perfect. Okay, cool. So let's get into it, and let me know at any point because I have only one computer today, so I can't see multiple things. But if you do see anything in the chat that I need to be aware of, please help me and let me know. Um, so first of all, I'm going to do that thing that everybody does. I want to say a huge thank you to Bio. And thank you for having me, really. I do not take this for granted. And I'll talk about it in a bit. You hear, I'm such a big believer in time is currency. So thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for having me in your space and your community. But yeah, I hope that I give you something that is tangible, something that you can act on, because I think ultimately that's what's important. I've heard you're faith-based, which is amazing. So I hope that you will not just be listeners, but doers of everything that we discussed today. Okay. And well, I'll come to it. Let's just start. So today we're talking about building relationships at work, becoming someone people like, trust, and recommend. Ultimately, for me, the key question that we're trying to answer is, would people choose you? I think that's ultimately what it is. And I know some people here may not necessarily have a standard 9 to 5 job. You might actually be an employer. I think this is still relevant for you because whether you know it or not, right, people are choosing you, whether it's your employees, whether it's you as an employee working with other employees. There's a rational thing that happens every day where we're all choosing who we're spending time with and who we really, really don't want to be around. So I hope that you really, really can walk away from this with something that, that applies to your situation. I've already heard some really interesting things here. I hear we have a product manager in the room, which is amazing because that's what I do. We have people who love cars. We have, business analysts. We have so many people. So I think I'm right at home in terms of where we are. So let me do some intros quickly. So like I said, and as Olamide mentioned, my name is Seyi and my full name is Seyi Ayinla, just in case you're looking for me online. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, and all of the likes. And as the flyer kind of highlighted, and as Olamide mentioned, I use these 3 things to describe myself. And when I was asked, to share my bio, but I do a whole lot more. But these 3 things, let's stick with that for now. Okay, so the first one is a product leader. What does that actually mean? I work within tech, so I'm a woman in tech. I work as a product leader. So that means I'm a product manager. And what do we do? We solve problems. And all the problems I've been solving so far have had some kind of tech element to it. I've been able to do this across multiple industries from banking, telecoms, financial services, fast-moving consumer goods, like you mentioned, Olamide, and where else have I? Identity and access management, so cybersecurity, and I currently work within the retail tech space as well. So I've been able to kind of, flex that product management muscle. And I'm now at the point in my career where I always say my biggest products are my people, which is where the leadership comes in. I do a lot of strategizing, with brands, but also ultimately what I'm trying to do is get my people to the point where they are the best product managers that they can be. And yeah, I really, really enjoy leadership. You hear me talk about leadership. If you follow me on LinkedIn, that's really what I am passionate about. And the reason is because I have been a beneficiary of great leadership, and I feel very, very strongly led to pay that forward. Um, I am also an entrepreneur. I have founded brands in the past, but my current obsession is Love Weddings NG. So you probably already follow us on socials, but if not, please follow us. We're an African wedding media brand, and I love, creating. I love coming up with brands and anything that really, really creates something from nothing. You'll find me there. And because of my passion for leadership, I have, been a mentor to over 20 plus people and more. And it's really because, like I said, I really believe in the power of, being backed by a person. We have so many amazing people already doing great work. And I think sometimes the difference is just having that one person that you can speak to, and somebody to just help you clean out the cobwebs, and just focus on what really, really matters in work. So you'll find me doing these three things a lot. Okay. And basically, just to leverage that point, I think this community that you have is actually quite amazing. So I hope that you are actually taking full advantage of it. It's one of the biggest things that I find in my journey is people might be great, but sometimes you just don't have the right environment to thrive. So I hope that you're taking that full advantage of everything that you get by being a member of this amazing community. It sounds really good. I feel like I'm missing out, but yeah. Okay, so okay, before we go to this, I told you I was going to mention three things that I think are really important to me. So whilst we're talking, I want us to have like a bit of a social contract, okay? This silence that was happening when Olamide was talking doesn't work for me. It doesn't work, right? I will pick on people and I'm just trying to make sure I have the visibility of who is who. Um, First thing, like I said, time is currency. A lot of us are up this morning here. I know that there's so many things that you could have been doing as well. So let's maximize the time that we have together. It's more important that if you're going to be here present. I know a lot of people are doing things in the background, but just try to be here and participate as much as you can, because that just makes it valuable for everybody. Okay. Second thing is you probably hear things that you've heard before, but I really want you to think through them and be doers, not just listeners, because ultimately that's the whole point. What's the point of just hearing the same thing over and over and over again, right? Let's make sure that whatever it is that we hear today, as long as it makes sense to you and as long as you agree, please make sure that you're taking something tangible, an action step that you're going to do with that information today. Okay. And the last one is engagement. Okay, talk to me, let me talk back to you. And we're going to practice this immediately. So my first thing that I would like to hear from is I want you to think of someone that you really, really like working with. I'm not talking about necessarily, it can be, but I'm not asking for the name of your wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, friend. I'm actually thinking of somebody, if it's the same person, if your wife falls into that category, great, amazing for you. But I want you to pause and just have a think about someone that you really, really like working with, right? So this is somebody that whenever they walk into the room or whenever they walk into the office, they're just like, ah, thank God you're here. Like, what would this meeting have been like if you weren't here? I want you to think of that example and I want you to focus on those three questions on your screen. What is it about that person? Why do you trust them? And why do you enjoy working with them? So I would love somebody who's brave to share their answer with me. And please talk to me. So feel free to unmute your mic. Who would like to share? So one person that you 100%, whenever they walk into a meeting or they dial into that virtual call, you're like, oh, thank God. Thank God Oyeka is here. Thank God Kate is here. Thank God Otumba is here on this call. I'm so glad. Thank God Ola is here. And I want you to share with me the reasons why that is happening. So who's brave? Who's going to do it? Unmute your mic and just go for it. Don't put your hand up because I can't see. So who? Let's go. This is the engagement.
Hi
Thank you.
everyone.
Hi.
All right. So for me, I think it would be a colleague of mine at the office. his name is Landry. I think one of the reasons probably would be that um, since we're doing almost the same thing, it's easier for me to get someone I can piggyback off on some of the things I'm saying that can help in corroborating certain things. So it's to an extent we think alike, and we're able to easily communicate our ideas amongst each other, piggyback off different ideas together, and it just makes it easier for me to do some things at work. Yeah, I think that'll be it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, AJ. Please, everybody, clap for AJ. And I'll talk a lot about the perceptions that you're forming, whether you like it or not. For me, AJ has already shaped a perception in my mind, right? By being the first person who has spoken to me in this session. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for sharing your experience with Larry. It sounds like both of you have chemistry, which is amazing and an amazing reason why you would enjoy working with somebody. So thank you for sharing that. Would anybody else like to go? Who else? Let's be quick.
I'll go.
Okay, thank you.
I would say, okay. If I'm to say a colleague, I'll pick my line manager. So anytime she steps into a meeting with me, I like the fact that she allows me to own something, but in the process of owning it, she shows more insight, and that sort of shape the trajectory of the meeting or of the session, whatever it is that maybe we're doing together. And that sort of not micromanaging, but giving you that ownership mentality, like this is your own, do it the way you deem fit, but also telling you that I'm here if you need support. So yeah, I kind of like working with her. And then it just makes it interesting. When I see she's in a meeting, I just have this extra confidence. And yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Abimbola, for sharing that amazing example. I love this. And you know what? The funny thing is, all of us on this call may not know who your line manager is, right? I don't know who Larry is, but the reality is that if tomorrow I bump into someone called Larry, I'm probably going to go, oh my God, maybe this is who AJ spoke of. And immediately I already have a really good perception of who Larry is. Your line manager sounds amazing, Abimbola. A lot of people cannot say that of their line managers. So it sounds like you have a great line manager. So imagine if I were to walk into your office tomorrow and your line manager was talking to me straight away. I'm like, oh my God, Abimbola said something great about you. And immediately our relationship starts on an elevated position. Like, let's say everybody's on this level, right? These two people you just mentioned are already here. They're one step ahead of everybody. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to share my example and I'm going to come back. Everybody on this call must talk. That's how I do my things. So I have more exercises for you. So thank you, AJ and Abimbola again for that. Amazing. If I was giving out millions, you'll have won it by now. So you never know. Okay, so my example, I'm going to use actually Bio. So a lot of you know Bio, right? He's the convener, he's the brains, I guess, behind a lot of what is going on here, as well as the team. For those who don't know, Bio and I served as vice president for our alumni association. So we both attended Covenant University, and while I was VP Corporate Communications, Bio was VP Careers. And I will answer these three questions about Bio very succinctly because I can go on and on and on. But what is it about Bio? Bio is excellence personified. As all of you know, he talks about success and excellence. I think he has a line that excellence is the only way. There is no time that I've worked with Bio that Bio has not come correct, right? Bio is not the kind of person that comes and does things half and half. Always, every single time, he always will do things properly. He will do things the way that it should be done. That you are never ever second guessing, what Bio is doing. He just covers it. He does his job. He does exactly what he needs to do. He says what he'll do and he does what he says. So that's something about him that I really appreciate. Why do I trust him? I trust him because over time, not just once, Bio has shown that he's diligent in this example. Oh, you're here. I didn't know you're here. You can blush away, don't worry, I have more to say. So why do I trust him? I trust Bio because he didn't just come to do one thing once. Over time, right? every single time, and I'll give you one specific example, but this is not the only example. When we were VPs serving together, Bio was our king of partnerships. I'm not even joking. Like there was a new partnership almost every month. And I think when I left office, we were like 30 plus partnerships strong. And a lot of that came because there was Bio. So results was there. Number two is whenever Bio would agree a new partnership, there was always a process. He didn't tell me that there was a process, but I could see that there was a process. He would send me a message and go, "Hi, Seyi, we have a new partnership. Here is the MOU that we've signed. Here's the document so that you can save it and keep it. Here is the information we need to pass across. Here is the partnership. We need to." So every single time he would come, those 30 times that Bio came, there was a repeatable cycle that I could see that he was following. So I trust him because he didn't just do it once. He did it all over, like he did it, in a repeated way every single time. So whenever there was anything to do with partnership, it was very rare that I did not have the information that I needed to, to promote that partnership because Bayo just always brought what I needed. So that's the answer to my second question. Now, why do I enjoy working with Bayo? Again, like AJ said about Larry, that chemistry in terms of we both work in the same way. I really, really, again, think that time is currency. I think someone like Bayo is the kind of person that will not waste my time. If I'm working with Bayo, he's definitely taking, cognizance of the fact that, okay, this time that I have with Seyi is important. So I'm going to max it out. And I'm not saying that you should not enjoy life as well, but Bayo is the kind of person that I'm like, okay, this is someone that I actually align with. So from a values perspective, in terms of how we work, I can see that alignment. So hopefully that is already giving you some ideas in your mind about, why people are choosing to work with certain people and not others. But let's do another exercise because I think it's really important to bring this back home. So for those that have not spoken, start thinking because you must put your hand up. On this call, everybody must talk. Now, we've talked about a person. Now, I want you to think about a product that you love. I talked about me being in product management. So a lot of my time in my 9 to 5 is spent doing exactly what we've just said, but for products, right? So I'm walking into a tech company and we're coming up with the next big thing from a retail perspective. We're coming up with the next big package for MTN or whatever it is, right? And I'm trying to figure out how can I help make this thing liked, trusted, and how can I get it to the point where people will experience it so much that they recommend it. So I want you to pause and think about a product that you love. It can be anything. It can be Indomie, it can be Apple, Samsung, whatever, right? And I want you to try and answer these questions for me quickly so that we can race against time. So hopefully you have a product in mind and you will be able to see this thing around you because half of the time we spend, we spend with the products that we already have, right? Half of the time, just keep that at the back of your mind. Like 100% of your time, you're probably spending it with this product. So if you're stuck, just look around you, you'll see it. It's probably in your hands, your phone, right? I want you to think about a product.
Sorry to cut you. Your screen just went half.
Oh, sorry. How about now?
No worries. Still half from my end. Yeah, still half.
Oh, is that the same for everybody else?
Okay, yeah, now it's full.
Back,
Now
yeah.
it's full. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Unique, for that. Is that Unique, the Unique I know, or another Unique? I'm not sure.
That was Olamide, and I think Abimbola also spoke up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I saw Unique, so I wasn't sure. Thank you so much for flagging again. Good feedback. Thank you. Love it. Okay. So you've thought about your product, I hope. Why do you constantly choose this product? Because when I say choose, it's an active word, right? So this product is still around you.
Sure.
Okay, I think someone needs to mute. Samira, I think we might need you to mute, please. Thank you. So I want you to think about why is it that you're constantly choosing this product? Because if you did not choose it, it probably wouldn't be around you, okay? What keeps you coming back to this product? No worries. And then what would make you recommend this product to somebody else? Now, I want two brave people again to share their examples. So similar to what AJ and Abimbola did earlier, this time, product. Go ahead.
Okay, so interesting how I was very excited to talk to raise my hands. So the product that I have two products. One would be
Okay.
Access Bank, and two would be Apple. Access Bank in that for every time I have a failed transaction and I'm debited, I'm not one bit worried because I know that my money will come back to me. I don't have to call anybody. I don't have to go through anything. My money would always come back. And there's barely ever any failed transactions. So, but when that happens, I know it would always happen. So I trust it. They are consistent, right? So I would always come back to it. I swooped from a major bank I had been using for years to Access Bank in like 1 month because of how great it was. And I have not regretted it. And I would always tell people, Access Bank, please, this wouldn't come and pay me. I would always root for it. Second products would be Apple. One thing is, Apple is very solid. I don't see myself going to Android. My phone can fall. It doesn't fall, but it can fall, and I would be sure that it's fine. The other day, water entered my AirPod and dusted it off a bit. I was like, I hope I haven't lost this thing. And it was very good. So I'm like, okay, like products are solid. So yeah, I think it's the fact that I can trust the product. There's consistency in terms of the quality I receive. So yeah, those are two things for me.
Amazing. I can tell you work in marketing. I can tell. Amazing. Great. In fact, you hit the nail on the head. I love that you even went for the active verbs as well. Perfect. That Access Bank example is so interesting because there are some other people you ask, and their story about Access Bank is opposite. Opposite. So imagine how much, like how just that thing that they're doing about. So for you, what's really important is when your money is correct. You don't want stories about my money being missing. Somebody else is probably angry with Access Bank because maybe they did not deliver their card on time, But there's obviously something that is really important to you that they're paying attention to, so much that you will care so much, to tell everybody about it. So love those two examples. Thank you so much for sharing. I see something in the chat, so let me just try and read it. It's quite long. Ooh, what is this? Okay. Kate, it took me a while to type. Okay, that's fine. Let's read it. For me, I think of a senior colleague I had the opportunity to work with through a volunteer project at work. She's genuinely excellent at what she does, okay? And I find that there's always something to learn from her. I really respect her competence, the way she approaches things, and the standard she brings to our work. Amazing, okay? Working with her makes me think differently and pushes me to raise my own bar. She also has this incredible ability to shine a light on other people's work. Even in meetings, she'll highlight something I've done well and make a bigger deal of it than I probably would myself. I respect her competence, I learn from her, and I also feel like I'm better for having worked with her. Thank you so much, Kate. In fact, you know what? We can go home now. So this is exactly what I'm saying. So thank you so much, Kate, for sharing that. I know it's for the previous question, but amazing. Abimbola, yes, go ahead. You have something to say.
No, it's just to talk on the product question.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I would say, sorry, the background. So for me, I think I'll touch on two. One, I really like this brand called Shark. I don't know if anybody knows it, but Shark Ninja. So for me, usually what I tend to go for is something that can withstand wears and tear, or something that there's easily replacement for once it gets worn out or something. Because my house, I get to use some things so much, and I have very strong people that things can spoil so quickly. But when there's a replacement that is easily affordable, I'm always excited to go after such brands. So I have my Hoover is a Shark, my food processor is a Shark, and every time maybe something gets bad or something gets broken or it gets stuck, there's always a spare part on their website, and it's easy to get, it's cheaper. So usually I go for things like that, and that makes it really easy. So the second I've mentioned is what someone mentioned earlier, which is iPhone. So the same way, because my phone is everybody's phone, it can drop, it can fall. I used to have a Samsung, but I stopped using Samsung because my screen broke like a couple of times, and the cost to replace the screen was almost close to buying a new phone. So the first time I took my iPhone to the shop to fix it, and they told me how much it cost. I was like, what? So I've been spending like times three, times four to replace a Samsung phone. So yeah, so things that I can easily get a replacement for once it gets worn out, because for me, I have an ideology that if I can fix it, why buy another new one? So if it's affordable for me to fix, I'll definitely go for such brands that have easy access to fixing or replacement. So yeah.
Amazing. You are really successing. I love it. Thank you, Abimbola. If anybody notices, Abimbola has spoken twice. Okay. Again, you're all forming a perception in my mind. I don't know many people on this call. I know some of you, but whether you like it or not, I am forming my own perceptions now based on my own values, right? So my value, I used the word brave a lot earlier. So Abimbola has been brave twice in my mind. So whether you know it or not, my brain is doing some kind of calculation. I'm compartmentalizing everybody. That's exactly what happens in your office. Shocker, just so you know. But thank you. Two great examples. Love the Shark Niger. I actually don't know that brand, but now I'm going to go and check them out because of how well you spoke about them. And that's exactly what the power recommendation. And the iPhone one, again, so you're giving the same example, unlike the Access Bank example where Oyeka disagrees. Your example matches exactly what Olamide said. So there's consistency in that reliability factor, which is really powerful. But Oyeka, maybe we need you and Olamide to talk. I don't know if Olamide's account manager and Access is the power on the difference, but I'll leave both of you to sort that out. But thank you so much. And thank you for not falling my hand. I was waiting for nobody to put their hand up and I'll just gone teacher mode and picked on someone. So thank you for doing that. So amazing. So thank you. So we've literally talked really quickly now about, what makes it, what feels good to work with somebody and why you do the same thing for a product. And honestly, you probably heard these words. I mean, I wrote these before this session. Bayo has a pending issue with Access Bank. Olamide, you need to help people here, please. Access, they need to do something because it's not consistent, right? But imagine, okay. So these are some of the words that I expected to hear, and I think I've heard them, right? Reliable. So a lot of you spoke about the reliability. Oh, my phone falls, it doesn't break. I know it's still gonna work even if it drenches in water or whatever, right? Good quality. I think I've kind of heard that, in between some of our examples. We talked about easy to use, consistent, makes my life easier. When we're talking about people as well, there are a lot of feelings around this person makes me feel confident. This person makes me feel that I can own something. So those are feelings that, whether it's a brand, whether it's a person, those things are literally, it's the same vibe when you're thinking about why do I want to use this product or why do I want to work with this person? It's exactly the same. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that there are parallels between these two things, because whenever we're talking about brands that we like, we don't always equate it in our minds that actually this is probably the same thing when we talk about the people that we like and love to work with and trust and recommend. It's pretty much exactly the same. Okay, so those values, those adjectives, those verbs, however we've described them, they are parallels. The same reasons why we would probably work with a brand or choose to stick with a brand is the same reasons why people would choose to work with you or not work with you. Okay, so that's one thing I want to challenge your mindset on. So when you're thinking about, oh, is somebody going to like me? Is somebody going to da 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 da? Just think about the brands that you like and think about, okay, what are the things that makes you like those brands, and think about whether or not you as a person are projecting those things. So this is something we're going to go into a bit later, but I want to sow this seed. Abimbola, I see your hand still up. Did you have another point? Just so that I don't miss you. Okay, you've put your hand down. Thank you. So yeah, these are some things I want you to think about. If you were a product, I know we're not products, and I'll touch on that really, really quickly, but because my product management head is on. So if you were a product, and imagine you had this 5-star review, right? And let's assume that each of these points on the screen now represents 1 star. I'm going to touch on these things and why they're important. So the first star is, do people know you? Do people even know who you are? Let's even start there. Because whether it's Apple, whether it's Access Bank, whether it's Shark Niger, knowledge is power. Because if I don't know who you are, then how am I even going to know anything, right? Second one is, do people trust you? So be rating yourself somewhere on your paper. If you have one on your phone, you have 5 stars, and I want you to answer really, really honestly. You're not going to share your answer with me. It's up to you. You can keep it on your paper, but be very honest, right? Do people know you, number one? Do people trust you? That's number 2. So if you're scoring a star at this point, you have 2 stars lit up, right? Third one is, would people choose you? You know, like we talked about that line manager who's fantastic. Kate shared that amazing colleague of hers who she just, she's just this radiant person that we like working with. So there's this, there's this yearning to work with the person. So there's a constant choice here. The choice of buying Apple over Samsung. It's going on there, right? Would people come back? So it's one thing to buy from you or work with you once. Would I choose to come back again, second time, and work with you? Because I don't have to, right? But if I'm making that second purchase, if I'm coming back to you again to say, I want to work with you again, it's really, really powerful. And the third layer is, would I recommend you? So Olamide, I think, spoke about Access Bank and how she tells everybody who cares to listen, that Access Bank is the thing. So rate yourself. How many stars do you have? If you feel bold, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but if you feel bold, just put it in the chat. Let me know whether you're 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, or 5 stars. Just put it in the chat, and then we'll come back to this later. Okay, I'll let you carry on with that while I go on. So the next thing, before I jump into those points to talk a little bit more about them within a work environment in particular, is I want us to also be honest, right? Even though I'm drawing a lot of parallels between products and people, ultimately we are not products, right? We are real human beings. We have veins running through our flesh. We have, there's a whole lot more that makes us a lot more complete. I don't want to say complicated in a bad way, but we're just not products. We're just not services. We're not just people who are, on a store there that you put a price on 5 naira and then you buy it. We're a little bit more complicated than that, whether we like it or not. So one of the things I want to really, really touch on before we jump into these tips that I have in order to be this person that people like, and be this person that people trust, and be this person that people recommend, is to first of all admit that we're not products. Right? And because we're not products, there are some things that I really, really want you to bear in mind and to take into consideration. Number 1, you cannot make everybody like you. It's impossible. It is impossible for you to live this life where my goal is for every single person to like you. If you're getting feedback where every single person you've worked with does not like you, maybe you should pay attention to why that is happening. But just please understand, please understand that the goal is not for everybody to like you. I talked about me working as a product leader. Parts of my job actually demands for some people not to like me, right? One of the biggest parts of my job, which my team love me for, is how I'm able to protect their time. I always say that, and I'll fight anybody for that, right? I will go to war for you. If you're messing with my team's time, their ability to think, their ability to be the best versions of themselves, which equates into personal development time, I will fight you. So some people do not like me for that, and that's okay. I've made peace with that. I'm not here to try to be liked by everybody. And because you have values as a human being, there will be things that you 100% will say no to. Even products have principles. So how much more you as a person, right? So that's the first caveat that I want to really lay. So as much as I'm drawing parallels between products and people, we are not entirely products. So we need to bear these things in mind. So the first one is, you cannot make everybody like you. Please make peace with that. Do not be jumping around looking for every single person to like you. Some people will like you, some people won't, and that's okay sometimes, okay? Second thing is, likability does not 4-star. Thank you, Rosalind, for being brave. I love that. That's really good. We'll talk about that other star that's missing in a bit. Thank you. So second caveat is, likability does not equal agreeability. Okay, so the fact that I want people to like me, the fact that I want people to trust me, doesn't mean that I agree with everything. Again, even brands have what we call a target market. Even brands have principles. Even brands have standards. How much more humans? So there will be times 100% in your life where you're at work and actually you're like, I like this manager. This is my line manager that is great, but I don't agree with the point that she made. Again, completely fine. Completely fine to do that. It also does mean sometimes that you will have to have some tough and difficult conversations because, you might not, sometimes when people are expecting you to say yes, you might say no. When you're walking into certain situations, you have to have difficult conversations. I part of my day-to-day now is having difficult conversations. Every day I'm having difficult conversations of how somebody in my team can be better, how my boss can be more supportive, da, da, da. So all these conversations are not easy, but it's just part and parcel of the game, right? So the fact that you want to be likable does not mean that every single thing you're agreeing with, it doesn't work that way. You can 100% challenge ideas. You can 100%, as long as you do it in the right and positive mindset, it's completely okay to have an opinion, completely okay to go, I don't fully agree here. This thing doesn't really, it's not connecting with me, and here's why. So that's my second caveat. Third caveat is relationships are not transactions. Please keep me honest with time, Olamide, as well. If I'm going over time, please let me know, just so that I can align my speed. But this is the third one. Relationships are not transactions. I really cringe when I see this this networking crazy type of mindset. Like, please network all you want, but the moment we are getting into this zone where everything feels like a transaction, something is wrong, okay? Something is 100% wrong. If you're the kind of person who you know, how what person for me, and I think there's a problem. At some point, going to catch you out on that. People are going to spot it. You might think you're getting away, but all of us know, if you think in your mind, you can think of somebody who is just literally all they're doing is just trying to into your, I don't know, your network or whatever it is. So we know those people, and please, biggest. Hello?
Hi, I'm
Can
not sure
everyone
if this
hear
is my
me?
network, but I can't hear Shay. Okay, you're back now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think my internet, something happened to my
Okay,
internet. Is
no
the screen
worries.
still sharing?
No, it's not.
Okay, let's try and fix that. Sorry about that. This is a good test. What was the last thing you heard? Let's put that in the chat and see at what point I lost everybody.
Yeah, you are talking about it shouldn't be transactional. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Who was that? Who spoke? Sorry. I like to make
That was
notes.
me, Abimbola.
Okay. All right. Now, this is how I've just been doing. No, tomorrow now, Bimbola will come and tell me
A
that she's looking for
plus, A
control.
plus plus.
Yeah, this is how I'm just telling you. Because tomorrow now, that person that you're beefing, that you're like, why is this person always getting the job? Guess what? I cannot forget Abimbola's name now. I can't, even if I don't want to like her, I'll just be like, yeah, I remember. I know her, 1 star. Let's be going. Thank you very much. Okay, cool. So please let me know if anything glitches at any point, but sorry about that. So yeah, basically what I was saying was relationships are not transactions. Please try not to go into relationships with this mindset of always collecting. In actual fact, what you should be thinking of is what you have to give, because the best relationships are always formed in this symbiotic relationship of giving. Because when you give, you will naturally take. It's a principle. Again, faith-based organization. I love it. Even the Bible talks about it, right? There's no way you give, you sow and you don't reap. It just doesn't work. It's a no-brainer. So always go into your relationships thinking, what can I add to this, right? And because you cannot give to everybody, you also need to be intentional about who you focus on, because time is currency, time is money. So I'm not going to be available for 20 people necessarily every time. I might need to choose 5. But those 5 people, I'm really intentional about, what do I have that this person doesn't have? What can I add to this person's life? What is the thing that makes me so different that actually this person might be missing? Think about that. Really important. Okay. Next one is, you don't have to perform a personality. I don't use the word hate very likely, but this is one thing I hate. You know, when they say, oh, to become the next president, you have to be like this. I hate it. Like, I really, really hate it because, and one of the reasons why I'm against this is because I believe fundamentally that every individual, every human being was created differently. If all of us were exactly the same, if we all acted exactly the same way, I mean, life would be boring, right? So what makes you unique? Please don't ever let anybody pressure you into feeling that you need to change and alter that thing. And now I'm not saying that you don't have areas of improvement. I'm not saying that you don't have weaknesses. I'm not saying that you don't have things you need to work on, but you know within yourself that there's something that makes you super, super unique. There's something that comes with extra power. There's something that just, it gives you this extra vavavoom. And I'll share a very, very clear example for you. And this is why I'm really against this thing. I'll keep saying that hate. I don't use the word hate all the time, but this thing of, for you to be X, you must be Y, I don't like it. I really don't like it because I think people are losing their credibility. People are losing the thing that makes them them. And it's such a shame if we all just become AI robots, walking along the way. It doesn't serve anybody. Okay. So whatever you're doing, please do you. If you're stuck, and I'm talking about this thing that makes you, if you're thinking, I don't know what makes me me, I'll give you a hack. Try your best. If you haven't done one already, go and take one of these personality tests. Super, super power. I'm not talking about just those ones that will just give you like high level this thing. No. One I would fully recommend is called Clifton Strengths. I don't know how much it is in Naira, but I think the cheapest package is like 20 pounds or something like that. And what it does is there are like 38 or 52 powers or something like that. And then it will group you based on your answers to the questions. It will group you in order of hierarchy what your top 5 are. You can also get a report that shows you your top 32, and then I think there's one of your top 64 or something. Why is that important? It's because, again, all of us as human beings, we have something really unique. My unique thing, which I struggled with for a long time, I'm not the person that walks into a room loud. Like, I'm not loud. I'm not the person that walks into a room and be like, yo, yo, yo. And that's not who I am. I'm the person that walks in, I observe. And within, usually, it took me a while to realize this, but within 3 to 5 minutes, I can tell you I'm unique. It's called Clifton Strength. I'll look for, if you just Google this, see if you can find it. But if you can't find it, I'll figure out a way to send the exact link to the Success international team to share with everybody. But I would fully recommend, that's not the only one that exists, but that's one that I have done myself, and I will fully recommend, because what does it do? Not only does it give you a way to vocalize this thing I just described. So like I was saying in my example, I am the kind of person that walks in my superpower, and it took me a while to realize this, is actually that, that ability to walk into somewhere and observe. The ability to go somewhere and not be like there's nothing wrong with the high energy people. We need those people. Energy is very necessary, but that's not what I bring to the table. My superpower is I come in here and I watch and I'm just looking at everybody, and then next thing, within 5 minutes, I can tell you, okay, these are your weak points. This is where we're leaking. This is da. Leave me with strategy for 2-3 days. I can come up with something really brilliant that, will move us forward. God forbid that I listened to all those voices that told me I need to change and transform and be like, I will never lose that power of mine, knowing what I know now. Because why do people like working with me? This is one of the biggest reasons. They tell me you have this ability to pick on the quietest voice in the room. You have this ability to encourage collaboration. You have this ability to bring everybody to the same page. But at the same time, don't confuse my quietness with I cannot shout. Where there is necessity to raise my voice, I will raise my voice, but in the right context. But I'm just not that kind of person that does that, by default. So again, just another caveat for you to bear in mind. Don't feel like when you're taking a lot of these things that I'm going to say today that you have to go and start doing a performance. It's not a performance. It's try and search for the thing that makes you you, search for the thing that makes you unique, and just think of how you leverage that. I always talk about amplifying your strengths and minimizing your weaknesses. I think everybody's always going to have a weakness. And if you do have weaknesses that 100% you need to work on, please do. But there will never be a time where you're excellent at everything. So how about we just leverage the things that we're great at? Because somebody is looking for that superpower. I'm always looking for high energy persons in my team. If I want to hire, I'm always looking, okay, who is the person that can help balance me out? Because if you leave me, we'll just be thinking and strategizing for days. So sometimes I will even hire to fill the gap and balance things out. And that's what's important. So what you need to do is make sure when I'm looking for this high energy, are you visible? Can I see that you are available? And, we can talk from them. Next one is relationships don't replace results. And I think this is my last one before we go into the meat of the presentation. This one is really important because especially, I'm sorry, I'm not a Gen Z hater, right? I really love Gen Zs. I have companies, so I actually work with a lot of Gen Zs. I think Gen Zs bring a very unique energy to the table that I think a lot of people have missed for days. There's nothing more beautiful than working with my team when they come up with strategies. They challenge me, they tell me, no, we need to do this. I love it. I love it. But you see these results, please, can we understand that even charities, right? Charity organizations, I'm talking about a company that's trying to end poverty. Even they have results, okay? Even they are tracking. What was the poverty number last year and what is the number this year? So even a charity organization is looking for results. Please, how much more your company that has commercial targets? How much more your company that needs to make money to pay your salary? Please come correct. Whatever likability, trust, recommendation you're looking for, please, it needs to start with you're already doing your job. You're coming with results. Look, I'm not trying to downplay anything. I know that there are factors within the workplace that can sometimes, mean that you're unable to do certain things. But I'm speaking from a place of experience of somebody who has had to deal with a lot of biases. Biases of just, oh, somebody doesn't like you, but also biases of race, and biases of gender, where people, they even tell you to your face, oh, I don't like this woman empowerment. What I can tell you from my experience is that it's always easier to fight that battle when I come with results. 1,000,000% easier. Because guess what? Even your enemy is looking for results. That person you think that does not like you in that office, they know that this Abimbola, again, see, Abimbola has registered my head. Even this Abimbola, if I give Abimbola this work, she will do it. So even if they don't want to work with you, they will 100% choose to work with you. So relationships, the fact that I know somebody does not replace you showing up, because at some point, if you're faking it till you make it, they'll catch you. So please come correct with your results. Make sure you're doing your job, because the day that even if somebody is being mean, the day that somebody is even, doing whatever that they shouldn't be doing, it makes that argument so easy to have, because you will find help. It always comes, again, faith-based. So believe there's a God somewhere. I completely believe that, again, God, and this has been my story in my career so far. God always places at least one person in every company that I work in who just carries me. And I think this is the covering that God puts. God is like, I hand you under the wings of this person. Somebody always, is always fighting for me. And sometimes I'm like, hey, God, I didn't even know. And, sometimes I feel like I don't deserve it. But give that person results so that they can fight and win. It's not enough to go, oh, they don't like me, mental health. Look, mental health, I get it, but do your job. Just do your job and come with results. Really, really important. So these are the caveats that I want to give you before I jump into the core of those 5 stars. Thank you, Rosalind, for sharing that you had 4 stars earlier. But before we jump into that, I want to check, how are we feeling so far? Is there any of this caveat or were there any of these caveats that you heard and you were like, actually, this really, really stood out for me? Or is there one that you think I've missed that you really, really want to add? Please share it in the chat. If there's one that you feel like, oh my God, this is something I need to watch out for, let me know. And if there's something that you think we haven't touched on, let me know as well. So just a quick recap so that we can make sure we're all on the same page. I talked about we're not products ultimately. So even though there are parallels in what I'm saying between people and products, we are not products. And the reason why I went into this whole detail of caveating is that, number 1, you cannot make everybody like you. Number 2 is likability does not equal agreeability. Number 3 is relationships are not transactions. You don't have to perform a personality to be liked, trusted, or recommended. And relationships don't replace results. So which one stands out for you? Which one is the one that you're like, I need to watch out for that? Which one is the one that's making you think, I've never thought about this in this way, but actually going forward, I'll think about that. Leave it in the chat so that we can connect. Remember, engagement is a key metric for me on here. So I'd love to read from you. Because of time, let's jump into the meat of the stars. So before I jump into this, was it Rosaline? Let me just go back to the chat. Rosaline, would you like to share if you feel comfortable? Rosaline, yeah. So you mentioned 4 stars when we did the exercise before. Would you like to share which one you feel like you're missing? So the first one is known. Are you known? The second one is pretty much, are you credible? Third one is, are you consistent? Fourth one is, are you valuable? And then, would people recommend you? Which one was missing when you did your
So basically, like every part of it. Hi, good morning, everyone. Sorry, my manners. My name is Rosalind, and I work as a project manager and a wellness coordinator. So I would say people know me. So within the wellness space, the running community, and even for corporate wellness, I am known. People trust me, and that's why referrals happen from time to time. There are organizations I've worked with now for the past 8 years, and they keep referring. So if they're not doing something, they're referring another organization to me to lead sessions. In terms of being valuable, I've worked with my present boss for 9 years and in 4 different capacities and in 4 different organizations. I mean, for the first, I worked for 7.5 years. The second opportunity that I had to work with my boss, I worked for 2 years, currently did 2 years, and I'm now taking up another position that would span, a few number of years. So in terms of value that I've been able to create. And the last one was, if you could remind me.
recommended, like who's recommending you, which I think you've kind of touched really.
Yes, please. And that's why I
Yeah.
said, like,
So
everything has a
okay.
part that has been very valuable to me, even for, like, in terms of recommendation. I have classmates, either from secondary or university, that would say, oh, Rose, because I've been able to create like a top of mind awareness, especially when it comes to the wellness arm of my life, as well as games. And that brings about recommendation. Recently, someone from the UK reached out to me because I also produce t-shirts and said, oh, someone said you'd be able to give us quality. And right now I've sent an invoice for that transaction to happen. So thank you.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much, Rosalind, for sharing. To me, it
Thank
sounds
you.
like you're 5 stars. So I don't know why you chose 4 stars. It sounds like you actually have nailed all of it, which is amazing and fantastic. So perfect. But maybe there's another group of people. So you mentioned UK. Someone in the UK reached out to you. So if you wanted to target people in the UK for work, you need to rate the people in the UK based on, do they know you? Are you credible to them, consistent, valuable, and recommended? But thank you so much for being brave and for sharing that as well. Okay, so let's get into it because of time. So 5 things that makes people choose products. Again, please remember the caveat of everything I've just said. I really want people to listen to this within context and not just go, okay, I'm going to turn myself to this commercial thing that I can just plug and play. You have to overlay, and that's the reason why I went through those things first, because they're really, really important. So the first thing, which is the first thing you see on the screen, is you have to be known, okay? I know this is not the easiest thing. Please take it from me. I used to be somebody who was just like, beg, all this social media, I don't want to be visible. I don't want anybody to know. But ultimately, right, like those products that we talked about at the beginning of this call, if you don't know that they exist, how are you gonna choose them in the first place? How are you gonna choose them to like them? So what I want to challenge you and ask you is, who knows you in your office? A lot of us, we work, and I used to be this person, so I'm not speaking from a place of like telling you off or anything. I used to walk into the office, I just do my job and go home. That quote at the bottom of this page is really important. Being good at your job is not the same thing as being known for being good at your job. A lot of us, we complain that, oh, somebody's taking the credit for our work, somebody's there. Well, guess what? You can do a good job, but it doesn't equal people actually knowing that you do a good job. So it has to be really important that you actually, beyond you just doing what you're doing, always ask yourself, do people know There's someone I listen to. Her name is Ortega. I think it's Ortega Uwaga. I can't remember her name now. But she wrote a book which is really popular. I'll look for it again and recommend after this. But she said something that really stuck with me again. Me working as a product manager also really resonates. She said there's nothing she does in her life now as a personal development strength that she doesn't consider that thing to be complete until at least somebody knows about it. So for example, she wrote a book, right? A lot of us have books written on our phones. Trust me. I even know somebody who has written a book, published the book. There's a seller link and nobody knows about the book. So what was Ortega saying to us? She said, one thing she would do is make sure that at least one person knows about it. So I want you to apply that philosophy to your work. So you've gone and you've done this presentation. You've gone and you've come up with this amazing pitch deck. Who are you going to tell? From today, we need to start telling somebody. I don't even care who you tell first. Let's just start. Let's just begin. Who are we going to tell? You can choose if you want to tell people on LinkedIn. That's your business. You want to tell people on Instagram. Just make sure that you don't share confidential stuff, right? Because it's work we're talking about. It might be that you want to tell your manager. One of the shockers that I had in my life was I was doing all this performance review. My manager was like, I did not know that. And I was like, are you joking? Me that I've been doing all these things. And he was like, I didn't know. But really, 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 what told me that my manager knew those things? Like what gave me the audacity to think that my manager knows, and is my manager following me everywhere? So a lot of us, we're not progressing actually at work. We're not being liked, we're not being recommended, we're not being trusted just because people do not know. And sometimes, please trust me, I'm not saying this from a place of privilege. A lot of us immediately say gender bias. A lot of us say racism. A lot of us say, sometimes people just don't know. Sometimes people just don't know. And I'll give you an example again. I love sharing examples so that you know that I'm not just doing audio. This thing is honestly is real. The other day, I love that Fumito, over communicate the work you do. Never assume that anybody knows. Sometimes some people just don't know. I recently signed up to be one of the leads of our women in tech group. I thought about this Ortega thing and what I'm saying to you. And guess what? I sent a mail to my manager. I said, when I got the congratulations email, and in the email, because I had to go through like a whole process. I had to apply. There were like hundreds of people that applied. We did interview, they chose us. So the email already had all the stats and the data points, that Rosalind shared, for example, there. I just forwarded the email to my manager. FYI, I am now the new lead. Let me tell you, the Seyi of 5 years ago, I would have continued doing that lead work, that women in tech, and nobody will know. What they'll see is they'll see the results, but they will not know that it's me that is producing those results. Because one thing you find is the higher you go in your career as well, it becomes less about you. That's just the way, because you are now working through people. So it's really important that whenever you are doing something, make sure that somebody knows it. Because if people don't know it, that could just be what's stopping them from connecting with you. So over communication is so important. Never assume that anybody knows. Think about outside your immediate team as well. A lot of us, okay, yes, the people that know you are just in your team. Guess what? Restructure can happen tomorrow. When they do a restructure now, you'll now be the one person that nobody knows. Build connections, build relationships. I have this thing now where I try to make sure I have a relationship with my skip manager. What does a skip manager mean? My manager's manager. I'm not saying talk to them every single day, but they need to know your name. They need to be aware of you. They need to know what you've done, what you are contributing to the team. They need to just, you just cannot just be somebody that is just aware. And again, I'm not saying go and turn that relationship to a transaction. I'm not even saying ask them for anything, but just make sure that they have knowledge of you. How do you do these things in a very seamless way? In your office, and I'm very sure that this happens in every office, whether it's in Nigeria, UK, US, Canada, they'll say, oh, we have a meeting. We don't have any agenda points. Who has any successes and wins? Every single week you say, no, you don't have anything. Let me challenge you. When you go into the office on Monday, whenever this random meeting that everybody always rolls their eyes on, whenever they say come and attend, please, I challenge you to say, actually, I have something to share. I did something last week and I'd like to share it with everybody. That's my challenge for you. Remember, we'll be actions, we'll be doers and not just listeners of what we're learning today. So my challenge for you is number one, I want you to be known. If you're already known in a certain place, let's elevate it. Who do we want to target? Rosalind, do you want to go for that UK market? Maybe because you want to earn pounds. Why not? Let's do it. Tomorrow, let's look for all the UK groups where the UK people are hanging. Go there. Go and tell them. Just be like, do you people know that I'm doing this thing? Let's do it and let's see if it's going to show. It really, really brings results. I promise you. It does. So first thing, remember, being good at your job is not the same thing as being known for being good at your job. I'm not going to read the screen, but you can read it in your own time. But speak up, contribute, share your thinking, take advantage of already existing forums. You don't always have to create a new meeting to talk about the work you're doing. Tap into these things that already exist, because sometimes the people who need to hear are already there. So that's the first one. So again, think about your star. Some of you will have rated yourself 1 star. I can see 3 stars. Abimbola, amazing. Based on this, do you still retain your known star? Do you think you are known? If you are, well done. If you feel like there's another next step, let's go for it. So number 2 is be credible. Okay, so now that people know you, okay, they know you now. What do they know about you? What is your area of expertise? What's your track record? What's your judgment? What's your integrity? What is going to make people say, I trust this person's judgment? We heard an example earlier of a line manager who, over time, has built this reputation of allowing people do their own thing. So they're there to give you insights, but they're not there to overshadow you. Apple has built this credibility of being experts in durable phones that even if it falls, we know that we can pick it up. Now, some of you are credible for nonsense. That's the truth, whether we like it or not. You are credible for nonsense. You can be credible for good and for rubbish. Some people will say, when it comes to this rubbish thing, is this person I'll give the work? It's still credibility. But some people say, when it comes to this really important task at work, this thing that might make us, money, that can advance this company to X%, this is the person that I'm going to go to. What's your track record? Are you the kind of person who is always late? If you're always late, guess what? Everybody will start showing up late for you. And the day that you will need them to be on time, it will be too late, right? So what is your track record? Are you the sort of person who every single time people reach out to you, they know you're just not going to show up? People adjust to behavior. People will adjust to your behavior. People don't just buy what you do, they buy whether or not they believe you. I will always choose to work with Bio because I know from time, the track record that Bio has is excellent. In fact, if for any reason, which I don't think is possible, if I ever work with Bio and the work is not excellent, I'll have to ask myself, what did I do wrong? That's literally the way it is. So ask yourself, what's the credibility that people have? What have you been showing? What's your track record? And your track record can be good, it can be bad, it can be positive, it can be negative. Whatever you're doing, you are leaving a track record. Every email, every meeting, every communication, every interaction, you are leaving something on the table. I will always use this as an example. Olamide being a volunteer, I've learned that today being on this call. She has given me track record vibes. Abimbola has given me track record vibes on this call. Everybody that has spoken and shared has given me track record in a way, right? So people are shaping this of you at work. So think about that. Think about that and rate yourself on credibility. So if you think you're doing good in this place, and be really honest with yourself, please, there's no time for forming. If you think you're great here, give yourself 2 stars, okay? Keep your 2 stars. But if you feel like, my track record is not really there, let's work on it, okay? So this is the second one. Next is be consistent, okay? So you can have, you can be a great person to work with, right? But can I predict that you will always be great? You can be a rubbish person to work with, but can I predict that you always, there are some people in this life that you don't really know. It's like where the wind blows. Today, they are great. Tomorrow, they're just like, I'm not feeling it. On the same topic, on the same work, it's not as if I changed the industry or anything. So it's not like, I'm not really interested in this industry, no. They are just wherever the wind blows. That's how they are. Today, I'm late. Tomorrow, I'm early. Next tomorrow, what are you consistent with? Predictability is so underrated. A lot of us are really trying hard to go and come up with all this giz. Sometimes you don't even need. Just be predictable. Be that person that every time you walk into the room, let me tell you again, one hack. When I realized that this is my superpower, which I learned through my personality test and everything, that my superpower. So I've done the Clifton Strengths one, but there's also another one that I've done. I think I'm a bit addicted to this personality test because it helps me know more about myself. There's another one that I learned, which groups you into colors, right? So the premise is that everybody has a mix of colors, and I'll talk about it really quickly. Hopefully you can catch it. So there are 4 colors: blue, green, yellow, red. Blue is for your analytical people. These are the people that observe, they take in information, they analyze, but they can also waste time. They can be time wasters, okay? Because they're always processing alignments. Green is they care so much, they care so deeply. Greens are the people that will go like, oh my God, have you thought about the impact of this on this? They're constantly thinking. But you can also imagine that having a green in certain industries can be really, really stressful, because every time you have to explain and shalaye, but their superpower is that they're always thinking of the impact of something, the impact on people, the impact on the environment. You know, they're caring people. Yellow, these are the, I don't want to say noisemakers, but if you're in a room and then you hear, if you're in a room and all the yellows were to come together, you'll be hearing like zzz, because they're always high energy. These are the people that will make sure that the team has the vibes, the energy. These are the people that I'm always looking for, because I don't have that yellow spirit a lot. My yellow is there with certain people, but it's not there for everybody, right? I push on it. And then your reds are your very direct. You find a lot of directors in this camp. They don't have time to waste. So they're just, give me 3 bullet points, straight to the point. Let's go. Now think of it, everybody has a blend of all of this. I'll just share really quickly because of time. My top 2 colors are, you have your resting colors and then you have your active. So resting is, if you just catch me on my own, the ratio of my blue and green is always very high. At work, my red goes up astronomically, and it's because of my position, right? And how did I build that red going up? Because I had to learn to be consistent. I had to learn that in certain forums and in certain places, I had to make decisions really, really quickly, because my natural resting place is blue. If you leave me, I can analyze everything. I can literally sit here and be analysis paralysis. And I know some of you are listening to this thinking, but you said we shouldn't perform. Now, I'm not performing because I realize that to be the best version of leader that I need to be for my team, there are certain rooms I need to walk into and be really quick with decision making. So what am I consistent with? I'm consistent with, when I walk into certain rooms, I tell people, tell me your top 3 things. That when you go to my office, they say Seyi's top 3 things. So there are certain meetings that I go in, I'm like, what are the top 3 things? You top 3. So tell me what I'm doing, where I need you, that business. But just go into it, that is something I am consistent with. So you will hear people say, Seyi talks a lot about personal development. She tell you top 3 things. Think about what it is. Can you still hear me? Sorry, I'm seeing my internet is unstable. Am I stable?
Yes, you're audible.
Yep.
Okay,
Your
thank
slide,
you.
your slide
So
was
pre-rated.
Okay,
So
let's back up.
okay. All right, thank you. So yeah, those things that can people figure out that, okay, when it comes to Seyi, this is the way that she operates. Let's try and create some kind of predictability here. Whatever it is that works for you, again, I'm not going to dictate that, but figure out your that work intentionally, and it's a specific group of people.
Hi, Sherry. We lost you. Oh, okay. I think she's having a bit of network issues, so I see that she left the call. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, so we'll just give her a few minutes to join back in. I know she mentioned she had a bit of network issue. Okay, so I think while we wait for her, can someone just drop something that you've learned? How's the session going? Is it up to expectation? I mean, for me, it's beyond expectation. So what's that one thing that you've picked out of this session that you're taking into the coming week? Let's drop it in the chat box. If you want to unmute, please feel free to unmute.
I think I'm back. I apologize.
Okay, great. Welcome, Seyi.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. One thing we can say is Niger internet is consistently bad. I'm so sorry. Everything I could do to try to make this internet work, but this is the consistency I get So I apologize. Thank you
No
for filling in
worries.
for me.
So
Okay,
while
let's
you were
keep because of
away,
time. Internet.
okay,
Okay.
great.
No, carry on.
Yes, so I said while you were away, we had asked what people were learning, and I see in the chat box that what is resonating with her strongly is knowing and owning your superpower. Personally, one thing I've learned is be known, right? In marketing, we also use this term top of mind awareness. But what exactly is top of mind on people about you? So be credible. Don't be known for nonsense. Be known for something good. So yeah, those are two things that have stuck with me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, let me just breeze through because I think this internet is gonna try it again, but let's see. Okay, so be consistent. We talked about that. Find your repeatable patterns that you can create for yourself. Mine is always top 3 things. Yours might be something else. You might be that person that walks into a room because you know you have high energy for your yellow. You bring people together wherever you're in. You're always creating reasons for us to hang out, reasons for us to bond, because that's just where you bring your energy from. You know, figure that out and make sure that people can say consistently, Kate brings this energy. Consistently, Bayo brings this energy. Consistently, Abimbola is that person that will do this. It really, really helps. Next thing is be valuable, right? There's a theme here you can already see. Okay, so now that they know you, they know that, okay, you're credible for whatever. Now, what are you bringing? What is the thing that you're bringing? What are you leaving people with? And again, all the examples we heard earlier, you've heard all of this, right? Kate shared that fantastic colleague that she works with makes her feel very confident, makes her feel very seen, makes her feel very, is always taking the time to give feedback. So what is the value that you're bringing? Apple is selling a phone that is durable, but what that is giving you is literally the value is that I don't need to buy a screen that is more expensive when I want to replace. Like that's value. The value is really, really money. Like you're saving me money, you're saving me time. Access Bank is saving you the headache of money and all of those type of things. Buy your shares. I recently launched a book and realized I hadn't shared it on LinkedIn yet. The moment I heard the reminder that others must know what you do, I posted it right away. Thank you, Seyi. Amazing buyer. Well done. And there's sharing what you do. Eventually your community will also share that thing as well, because eventually they'll attach, that thing we talked about at the beginning, they will know that anything that Bayo does is credible. Anything that Bayo is the kind of person that brings value. So now I recommend Bayo's book, right? That's how it works. It's literally just that. Thank you, Bayo, for sharing that. So be valuable. What is the thing that people go, when I interact with this person, they always leave me better than, and again, I'll share my example. One thing I always get from feedback, and it's so important to get feedback, by the way. Some of us might underestimate the value that we present. I shared that example of how I'm not naturally your loudest person. And for the longest time, I didn't realize that actually my quiet nature was actually valuable. I didn't realize that. Some of you might be in that box where you're already doing something valuable, but you don't realize it. Now, let me give you the biggest hack. And a lot of people don't like it. I don't know why. Please, let's start asking for feedback. Let's start asking for feedback. You will be that person who people roll their eyes on. They're like, yeah, she has come again, but ask for feedback. My feedback questionnaire looks like this, and you can pick any of these questions. It's up to you. You want to do everything, that's fine. My first question is, what 3 words come to mind when you think of me? I ask that every time. There are certain people I ask. I don't ask everybody, but I ask people that I know, and I always mix people that don't like me and people that like me so that I can see whether there's anything. What 3 words do people think of, or do you think of when you think of me? I always find a lot of value from there. And that's how I knew that people really value the collaboration energy I bring. People really value my leadership capacity. People really value my ability to come and create something from nothing. Value. What is the value that you're bringing? I also ask, usually I'll say, I always say, thinking of very specific examples, tell me something I do well. And again, I always take a lot of things there. And I also always ask, thinking of specific examples, tell me things I can be better at. Again, people tell me the things that, I can improve on. And those are my 3 top feedback, hacks for you. I would encourage you again, if there's an action that you want to take away from this session, if you're not sure about the value that you bring, even if you're sure, let's test that with the market. Let's see whether or not people at work see, because there are some people who at home you give value that people at work don't see. So you're already showing that you have the capacity to give that value, but you're not showing it in the needed environment. Another example, I am an entrepreneur. For the longest time, I used to keep my business and my work life separate because I used to, in my head, somebody told me that, oh, in the office, they don't want to know. Shocker. Some of my best jobs, when I say best, in terms of money, in terms of experience, in terms of people I've worked with, have only come because people found out about my entrepreneurial capabilities. So that sometimes keeping those two worlds separate is not even the best thing, because you start to compartmentalize your value. You start to, that leadership capacity that you're bringing in your own company, you don't bring it to work because you don't want them to see that you have leadership capability. Why? Let's not do that to ourselves. So let's ask people so that we can understand what value people even think we bring. Some people will tell you they don't know what value you bring, and that's okay, because now we know we're working from ground zero, right? But ask that question. If you don't ask all three questions, ask what three words come to mind when you think of me. Collate all the answers. You'll find some themes there. The themes might be nothing, blank, which is okay. It just means you have work to do. The themes might be things that you look at and you're like, I don't quite agree with these things, because those are not things that actually I do. And then the other ones could be, oh my God, they align with exactly what I expect. See what you find and work on those results. So that's the fourth one. Now, my final one before I leave you, because we've spent almost 2 hours together, time is currency, is how do you become advocated for, which is the recommendation part, right? So after all these things, when somebody likes you, when they trust you, the next thing is, would they recommend you? Okay. And when I say recommending, I'm not saying, I'm using this 5-star analogy a lot on this call, but the moment you do a 5-star on an app store, usually what that does is it goes and it shares it with more people. It's like, oh, people in Nigeria have rated this thing 5-star, so I'm going to show it to more people in Nigeria. How do we create that in the people economy? How do we make sure that people are aware that when it comes to this, I will speak positively about the interaction that I've had with this person, because that person has been consistent, because that person has shown me the value that they bring, because that person is known. So that when they say, oh, I'm looking for this thing, they have a website to share with them. They have a portfolio to give to them. They have something to refer them to. It's not just this thing in the ether that it's like, oh, I don't know, this problem was just solved, but I don't know who solved it. No, we don't want that in the workspace. We want people to be able to attribute the value that we're bringing to us, because it's important. Okay. And how do people recommend you? Recommendation doesn't always look like a 5-star. It looks like people speaking positively about you. It looks like people inviting you into important conversations. There are always people like that in the office. Whenever there's an NDA project, NDA stands for non-disclosure agreement. There's something that the business wants to do to take them from point A to point B. There are certain people they call into that room. It could be you. It could be you. If they're not calling you already, we need to figure out why. And I'm not saying that you should be in every single NDA conversation, because that's not realistic, but you should matter enough because you bring a superpower to the table that I'm sure that conversation could do with. But do people know that you do? People need to think about you when there are opportunities. People always say there are no jobs and things are hard. I agree. Trust me, I'm not trying to downplay it. Life is hard right now. But whilst life is hard, like the number of vacancies I see has never been more. The only thing is that they are more specific. They are more specific. People are looking for very specific things. They're not looking for just somebody who just has a BSc. They're not just looking for somebody who is 30 years old, right? They're looking for somebody with expertise in this and this and this. This is why it's important to be known. This is why it's important to be consistent. This is why it's important to be valuable. So that when that opportunity comes up, the first person I'll be thinking of is Abimbola, right? Do you see what I mean? So there are opportunities. Don't let anybody lie to you. I know it's not as easy, but there are opportunities. If you're in the right forum, people talk about funding opportunities. I probably see one almost every day. There was one I saw yesterday around Lagos State trying to give loans out. I don't know if people have seen it, but there's the LSETF, which I can share. It closes on the 20th. Lagos State is literally looking to give people money if you're in business and you need some kind of money is available. Somebody now will tell me that there's no loan, and it's a government loan, so the interest rate probably is reasonable. There's the opportunity for those who live abroad to buy property in the UK. There is a mortgage for that. Like, these opportunities are there, but how are you going to find it? How are you making yourself visible so that when the people that have these doors, they can open it up to you? It's really, really important. And ultimately, people will trust you with bigger responsibility. People say that the reward for hard work is more work. It's true. It's not even just more work, it's more important work, right? If you're the kind of person that they're always giving the work that doesn't matter, you should be worried. You should be very worried. If you're doing a great job, what will happen is people will elevate you now. They take you one step, they'll be like, you know what, Seyi, we're about to launch this thing in the Lagos State loan. I'll share it. I'll look for it when I wrap up. But I'll share it with you. It's like, I saw the email, I've shared it with our community of our vendors, and it's a great deal. Really, really great deal. Well, a lot of people are going to say the government is not doing anything. But guess what? That opportunity is there. Did you apply? Are you looking for a loan? Those are the things. So becoming advocated for is ultimately the goal. What happens when you're not in the room? A lot of us spend so much time, and you have to be known and everything, but the next level is then, are the right people, the people who need to know you, do they know you? Very, very, very different. And again, all of these things come from a foundation of being credible, valuable, coming with your results, doing your job. What is your reputation? Your reputation travels whether you want it to or not. Your reputation goes. And I'm sharing this now, so I'm going to leave this call after 2 hours. I might never come back to speak here. Whatever reputation I've taken from certain people is what stays with me. Now, the people might not really be what the reputation I'm taking. So I might walk away from here thinking, again, Abimbola, sorry, but you're top of mind for me right now. Again, like it was shared earlier in marketing. It's a term that we use, top of mind recall, right? I might never come here to speak, but guess what? I've walked away now with this perception of someone called Abimbola Olanio forever. So even if Abimbola is not that great, even if Abimbola is not the greatest, right? I've now gone. I'm going to travel. And I'm telling you this, I'm going to enter a plane and go. Tomorrow, somebody will now say, oh, I'm looking for somebody somewhere. Who am I going to mention? Not because you're not also good, but because I now have visibility of this person. They've been consistent. They've spoken a few times. I think there's value there. So I recommend them. That's pretty much what happens. So now we've got into the end of this talk. So again, I told you to do your 5-star rating before. Now that we've talked about it a bit deeply, I wonder where you are in terms of your rating. Are you still 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars? And you'll notice that I've focused a lot on you, because ultimately, and this is a hack I can tell you, if you focus on yourself, these people that we're looking for to like you, they'll come and find you. I'm telling you that even your enemies, I've had bad bosses, terrible bosses, who literally have done just you think about all this thing. But you see, if you keep showing up correct with these things, they will still find you. They might do it in a way where they think they're trying to punish you, but the opportunities will come, because ultimately, even your enemy wants to shine. Even the person that hates you wants to look good. So that person is going to look at themselves and go, I'm not really good at this collaboration business, but Seyi is great at it. So how can I use Seyi? And that's the language you hear in the office. They'll go, how can we use her strengths? How can we use her skills? No problem, use me. Use me, but guess what? While you're using me, I'm being known for those skills. So the day that you are no longer relevant to me as well, I will still be known for my skills. And it's okay, 2 4, it's all fine. We're not transacting or anything. I'm just here about my business, doing what I do and being great. So I want you to re-rate yourself. And just say, do you still have 5 stars? Do you have 4 stars now? Do you have 3 stars now? Do you have 2 stars now? Do you have 1 star? Whatever the answer is, I'll leave this with you for you. You don't have to share it. It's up to you if you do want to share. But yeah, ultimately, that's really what we need to do in terms of this liking, trusting relationship business. But I also want you to remember that you can do everything that you want. There are sometimes the environments that you're in just don't work, right? So please apply these principles to yourself. Please make sure that you're showing up, people, you're known and da 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 da. But there are times when sometimes it's still not working, and it could just be because you now don't have the right relationships with the right people. So I'm going to give you homework for that one because I feel like I need a drink. So this is now for those people who you've done everything, right? And people now like you. They trust you, but you are now feeling like maybe it's the relationship part that is not working. 3 things that I want you to go and do for me. Okay, so take a note of this. You can take a screenshot if you like. Number 1 is I want you to think about someone you need to know better at work. Can be anybody, but think about it and make sure you have the answer as to why, right? So for example, someone I need to know better. I've recently been given another opportunity. Somebody actually, looked for me and said, I've heard so much about you from your product leadership journey, and I want to give you this opportunity. Came with a bit of a bump in my money. Why not? And I was like, yeah, so who am I looking to know? There's this particular stakeholder that I need to go and know. So if I were you now doing this, that person would be number 1 in my list. So think of one person that you need to know better. Why does that person matter to me? Why is this important? Because I'm new in this space. I need to know a lot more about this area. There's a whole lot that I've heard. There are a lot of premises and assumptions I want to just get to know. So think about that person, whoever that person is for you. Number 2 is I want you to think about someone whose relationship you need to repair. A lot of us go into work inheriting beef that we have no business with. Work is, can you still hear me? Yeah, okay. Work is such a temporary part of our life, right? And yes, there are people that you will not get along with, but it's not personal. It's really, really not personal. So maybe perhaps you've gone into the office and you are fighting your oga, or you are fighting that very important stakeholder. There's one person in that office that they are not your boss, but whatever they say stands. Please write their name down. We're going to fix that relationship. Just all I want you to do is think about this and put those names down. And then you think about what you do with them. 3rd one is somebody that you can help without expecting anything back. This is the biggest hack I can share with you. There are so many leaders in particular there's one leader that I know that cannot do a presentation to save her life. Like she has great ideas, but you see that presentation PowerPoint, she cannot do it. I don't know why or how, but me, I love, you give me all these things I can put, I love a good Canva workout. Find somebody like that. And we're gonna try and go and help. And what I want you to do is whichever one you choose to focus on. So hopefully you have 3 names here within the work environment that you want to attack. I want you to do something about one of them this week. So when you go into the office on Monday, use this weekend to think about it. Which of these people do I want to do something about? Is it this person that I need to know better? Maybe you need to book in a one-to-one to just chat with them and go, you know what? We've not had time to really talk. I want us to spend some time together. Is it this person whose relationship you need to repair and say, look, we've not really had a good running. Let's restart. Let's just reset, because there's no need carrying beef for work to your house. It's not worth it. And the 3rd one is someone you can help. That woman that I'm talking about, I'll go to her, you know what? I'll be like, look, I know you're great and but I want to be helping you with your PowerPoint presentation. Do something about it this week. That's my challenge for you. And most of all, I'm going to leave you with this. We can talk here on and on about being somebody that you like, trust, but please be that person as well. Do not be that person in the office that you are just the nemesis to everybody's life. There are some of us, when you know yourself, if you're listening to me, you know it as you're hearing. Some of you are just so wicked and just, I don't even know why. So please, can you be the person that actually is likable? Can you be that person that is trustworthy? And can you be that person who actually, is worthy of recommendation, and so much that you recommend people? That's my biggest lesson for you today. But I hope that somehow in the last 1 hour and a bit, you've taken something that you can act on and do something about. This is where I rest my case. Thank you so much for the time and opportunity.
Wow. I think that has to be one of the best sessions we've had this year, I dare say. That was really, really amazing. Feedback is pouring in. And just to think that this session started with everybody being quiet, and just look at how engaging it has become. Thank you so, so much, Seyi. Thank you for that. I think I had lots of notes. I'm so glad this was on YouTube, so everybody gets to, watch it again. I think my video is turned off. Yeah, I'm just turning it back on. Yeah, so that was such a brilliant session. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, does anybody have any question? You can drop it in the chat box or unmute yourself. And while that is going on, there's a question I want to ask to be sure that we were all really following. She said something about 5 things that make people choose you. Who can name all 5? Who can name all 5? Not 1, not 2, all 5 things that make people choose you. Let's see if you're really following. There's so much feedback in the comment section, but yeah, let's see if you're really following.
Hello.
I've been the A+ students, please.
Sorry. So this is also for me to be able to remember. So that's why I'm saying it, so that when I leave this call, it stays with me. So the 5 things is I want to be known, 2, to be credible, to be consistent, to be valuable, and recommendation, to be able to be recommended. Yes. So yeah.
Please, if this was a fiscal meeting, we'd be giving you a standing ovation right now. That was you got it perfectly right, even in the right order, right? And I just want to add this because I think, again, my marketing cap is always on. So just linking this to brands, right? One of the key things that we track is the brand health funnel, which talks about awareness. It talks about, how you move from awareness basically to loyalty. So there's awareness, there's consideration, where people already know you. People then say, okay, this is why I should try you. And there's a point where people actually try you, which is when they work with you. There's there's conversion, which is, okay, now I've tried you, I like you, I'm gonna come back to you, loyalty. And there's a part where they recommend you. So as a person, how you're applying this to yourself, do people know you? What is that thing that people know you for? Are you credible? Are you consistent? Are you valuable? Are you someone that people would always go back to consistently? And finally, can people speak for you? Can people recommend you? And something she said, please do not be people's nemesis at work. Do not be the nemesis. Do not be the nemesis. So thank you so much, Seyi. That was extremely perfect. Okay. Abimbola, you have something in the chat. Seyi says, what's one thing you're looking for this year? It can be anything. What's that one thing that you're looking for this year? Drum rolls.
Okay. I don't know. Sincerely, I think this is now. Yeah, I think for me is to just be in that place, like, of being known for doing something, because I would say that the direction of my career has not been one that has been on like a one parallel line sort of thing, or one like linear line, but to just sort of grow in the space where I'm in right now, to be able to embody all these 5 qualities. And I give myself a 3-star. So I'm not looking for anything material, but to be able to build quality is something that I'm looking to be able to achieve this year. It may not be something very obvious or great, but to know that in that space where I am currently, that I can say that, okay, yes, I'm growing and I'm embodying these 5 qualities, even though it's 50% of the 5. That would be really great for me. So yeah, so if there's anything that I'm looking to be, maybe to be able to own a presentation like you just did, Seyi, like to make decks like that, to be able to, carry that sort of quality and excellence, that sort of thing. So yeah.
Thank
I really
you.
don't know how to
That's
articulate
great
it.
feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I would love to do, I don't know if you fall into the bracket of people who feel like they need to do a personality test or anything. Did that resonate with you as well? Is that something you feel like you
for me? Yes.
Okay, I will love to. I'll talk to the team. I would love to contribute towards your Clifton strengths.
Thank
So
you.
I'll definitely pay for a report for you because I think that would help.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That'll be really, really useful for me. Thank you.
Wow. Now I'm jealous at
Wow.
this point. Thank you so much, Seyi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, see why it's good to engage at breakfast meeting. Someone just won a free personality test. And I remember she said the minimum was about 20 pounds. So please, thank you so much, Seyi. Next time I won't be the host so that I can engage to the fullest. And then I can get to win some of these things. So Abimbola, please send us your email address. You can send it to me privately on the chat, or you can send us a DM on Instagram at SWI_online so that we can connect you and, help you redeem this amazing gift from our speaker. Thank you so much, Seyi, for that. Just to also confirm, does anybody have any question before we wrap up the session today? Questions.
Just while people are thinking, I think one of the hacks.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead. Okay.
No, it's
one of the hacks I can share in terms of being known, which is really, really simple, and it's something I try to practice now, is I know we're in the era of remote working from home, but please turn on your camera. Turn on your camera. Because guess what? I'm just telling you, in a work environment, if I don't see you, you're out of mind. Out of sight is out of mind. Your voice is powerful, but it's not that powerful. Turn on your camera. Just especially like if you're someone who doesn't want to turn on your camera every time, 1 or 2 meetings every week, turn on that camera. Because there's even, I can talk to you about different things of how if I see from your waist up, it makes me trust you more. If I see your hands, you notice I was doing a lot of this. There's a lot of psychology to this.
Let me bring down my camera.
Yeah, there's a whole situation, there's a whole book and things I can send to you. But one thing you can do action-wise, just join a meeting, just turn on your camera. Everybody else will have theirs off, don't worry, turn it on. And watch what will happen in 4 weeks. And I'm not now saying turn it on and be cooking in the background, please. Like, come correct, right? Turn it on and be in that meeting and just watch how the credibility will start coming.
Okay. Thank you for that hack. Please, okay, I work physically though, but yeah, any virtual meeting, camera on, waist up. Thank you.
It works like magic. No worries.
Okay, so looks like nobody has any question, but I think this was such a brilliant session. It was such a brilliant one. I'd advise everybody, please go back to YouTube. I already have my notes on things that I'm taking into the new week. What am I applying? How am I applying it at work? Because at the end of the day, sometimes you can be skilled, but your skill won't always be the only thing, right? You need relationships, you need people who can speak for you. There's something I learned very early on in my career is about having sponsors at work. And trust me, nobody's gonna put their neck on the line for someone who would, mess that up. So thank you so much for this, Seyi. Thank you. All right, everyone. This was a wonderful breakfast meeting. This is the August edition. Trust me, we're gonna have another amazing one in September. And like I mentioned earlier on, for those who are just joining, we are having the I Lead conference next month. That's in September. It's for secondary school students. We're bringing them together and, just training them on leadership. It's on our social media platforms. You can follow us on SWI_online to get more information about it. The theme for this year is on so the theme of this year is on building the next generation. So thank you. Please join in, follow us on Instagram, check in, support us, volunteer. There's so much that's going into this. We're expecting over 200 participants. So you can imagine how huge it is, leading through tech, rather, empowering the next generation of student leaders. So thank you everyone again for joining in. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.
Thank you everyone. Thank you, Seyi. Bye.
One.